Hey guys, welcome back for another episode of The Suited Shootist. And today, surprisingly, we are talking about graphic t-shirts. So I'm just going to kind of dive right into it because I don't want, this is going to be a shorter video. And I know I've ragged on graphic t-shirts as a concept previously, but I wanted to touch on it a little bit because I don't think they have to be removed entirely from the wardrobe. I think that they can still have their place, definitely on the more casual side, but not all graphic t-shirts are created equal. And so really I just wanted to kind of touch on a couple things to sort of create a primer for, you know, those folks that still want to maintain that as a staple but look like a functional adult and not like an overgrown man-child, because that's really the risk of the poorly executed graphic t-shirt, is it just makes you look like a child. So let's talk about the things to avoid. The first and probably most obvious one is nobody should be able to draw any substantive conclusions about you and your beliefs from your shirts. So politics and religion being the obvious ones, but like this is a great example of what not to wear in public, because honestly it just makes you look like an asshole. And then any of like the really eerily specific algorithm advertised shirts where like it's the generic image or silhouette of like the wolf and some ultra motivational badass thing that somehow ties into being like a lineman or a pipe fitter or some other random profession. That's just a little over the top. And that kind of ties into the other piece where a word or two I think is workable, but full-blown sentences, anything that actually requires like genuine reading, is definitely in that kind of juvenile category. So I have yet to see a graphic t-shirt that has more than a couple words on it that I would actually expect to see an adult wearing. So just kind of some thoughts on that. I know I rag on band t-shirts a lot, but you know, honestly, those are a relatively safe bet because it's usually just an emblem and a couple of words, and those can tie in pretty well, especially if you're working kind of on the more rakish and possibly the more kind of rugged sides of the equation. So, you know, you can kind of go full 90s grunge and throw an unbuttoned flannel over top of one of those and you're good to go. But what I think is a good indicator if you are going to continue to work graphic t-shirts into your wardrobe is subtlety. So the bands being an example, that's relatively overt, but you know, I think that's a pretty safe bet. Some of the ones that I've got are going to be the Filster Heat t-shirt. I do love this. And then I've got this one from Caleb Giddings. I am an unabashed brown coat, so I definitely will rep that periodically. But it kind of depends. Like for example, when some friends and I went to the local Ren Fair last year, I had my Blue Sun t-shirt on because, again, subtle nerd reference, and in that environment, it's definitely going to be a lot more appropriate. But another one that you see a lot of people wearing less and less ironically are the shirts that are just like celebrating either laziness or antisocial behavior. And again, it doesn't make you look like a well-adjusted person. So I think keeping it to the subtle logos, you know, maybe a couple of words, and if it's going to throw a reference out there, maybe kind of keeping it just a little bit more under the radar to where folks of that tribe will pick up on it, but a lot of the rest of the world will just kind of gloss right over the top of it. So, you know, I'd love to hear what you guys think, because I know this is probably going to be a little bit more contentious of a video. It's probably going to get some hate, but what graphic tees are you still desperately hanging on to that you refuse to give up? Which are the ones where you look at it and go, dear God, I can't believe I ever wore that? I want to hear both of those down in the comments. So yeah, Love to kind of get a feel for this because, like I said, I think they still have a place, but it just requires a little bit more thought, a little bit more care in order for them to jive with an adult wardrobe. So, put it down in the comments. Let me know what you think. And aside from that, hope everybody has a fantastic week. Stay dangerous and stay sharp.